It's Saturday, it's 10:30, Gazzetta Football Italia.
Campionato di calcio italiano.
Welcome back everybody to Gazzetta Football Italia. Juventus are trying to continue their fine form this season away at Lecce, and Dole came first with his early effort curling into the goals of goalkeeper. Lecce then created a wonderful chance of their own. Salah's mazy run and shot was denied by Bagnoli, the young goalkeeper, setting a precedence for goalkeeping standard in Serie B with a beautiful save to the right hand side to deny Salah. What a mazy run that was. Bagnoli then pulled off a stunning double save to deny Ndri this time. Shot was in close, sliding in defenders, Bagnoli onto the bar, and Juventus cleared their lines just. Russo then had a long range shot, the young Italian who just made his debut for the under-21s. Ball whipped across, headed clear, only as far as Russo with a divine ponytail now copying his idol Baggio from distance, just wide of the post. It seemed like it could have been Lecce's day, to be fair, against Juventus, but Moriero had other ideas. The Juventus forward has been in fine form, took the touch and a beautiful finish past the goalkeeper to set Juventus on the way to getting 3 points. 77 minutes played, Moriero with the goal, and the league leaders are looking good this season. Things have clicked well for Manello's men, and Serie A football could be in the midst next season if this form continues. Bismana then doubled Juventus' lead with a rare goal from the defensive midfielder. He broke the lines alongside his centre-part midfield partnership, and Benzema with a beautiful finish, somewhat of a toe poke, but they all count. And Juventus were 2-0 up with literally a minute or two to spare and 3 points in the bag here at Lecce. Things could have been completely different for Juventus and Manello's men there if Lecce had taken their early chances. But Juve are getting used to winning ugly sometimes and scoring goals and being a defensive stalwart. And if defensive midfielders are getting goals for the team as well, they're going to go a long way to winning this title. Lecce did get a consolation in injury time, a ball over the top, and Helgason took it beautifully to dispatch past Bagnoli, who'll be disappointed the young man not to keep a clean sheet this season. And he could have had one today against Lecce, but it wasn't to be. In the sunshine though, Juventus will claim all 3 points. But again, Lecce will look at this and think they gave the league leaders a hell of a game and possibly push on to try and get promoted themselves. So Juventus with the away win, Lecce 1, Juventus 2. Juventus march on with another 3 points here thanks to Moriero and Bismana. Cosenza was next then for Juventus, and it took the Bianconeri until the second half to break down a Cosenza stubborn defence. Buonato with the goal. What a season this young man is having. Ideally Juventus' best player. Volpato with the ball across, and probably the simplest goal he's had this season, Buonato. But it took Juventus 48 minutes to break down this Cosenza side, who came there with defensive duties. The manager did claim that they would try and get a draw away from Juventus. He said it's hard to stop a freight train like this, but we'll do our best. But unfortunately, freight train broke down the defence after 48 minutes. Beautiful play, and Cosenza then had to play out from the back and try and get something out of this game. Juventus then took advantage of the open spaces, and the Chilean Pizarro scored a stunning header here. Cosenza all over the shot with the defending. Juventus in the end getting the cross, and Pizarro, marked by 3 centre-backs in there, still got the header in, found the space, and what a header it was from the Chilean. Cosenza again, the defensive duties obviously wasn't doing enough in training all week, leaving Pizarro wide open, 3 defenders watching him. One could have got his autograph while he was in mid-air, and the Juventus striker made it 2-0. Just look at Pizarro's positioning here. 3 Cosenza defenders can see him, they all just fall asleep. Pizarro finds a space, and Juventus are 2-0 up. Juve completed their fine win with a second goal from Buonanotte, breaking the lines. At this point, Cosenza had given up on their defensive training they've been doing. The Cosenza manager then threw his hat into the crowd, some rude gestures towards some fans, and walked off down the tunnel. The plan was all but done. Juventus on a fine form again. 2 wins on the bounce, and Buonanotte again scoring these goals, trying to chase down the top goal scorer of this season. The winger's having the best season of his life so far and enjoying playing for the Bianconeri black and white. And it was 3-0 Juventus. So Buonanotte with yet another brace. 3-0 Juventus. They march on to then face Fiorentina in the Coppa Italia, which will place them into the quarterfinals. So the tie of the round, Fiorentina versus Juventus. Fiorentina were looking to put one against the Bianconeri. Now they are Serie B team, and from the offset, Fiorentina put the pressure on the Juventus defence. Mondraga coming close with beautiful save from Aresti onto the bar, denied him. Fiorentina again make Aresti do his work. A double save here from the corner, one from the header and then one from the rebound, again denied Fiorentina. The old goalkeeper may have arthritis in his right hip, but my goodness, he can still get some saves off and keeping Juventus in the game. Juventus then created a chance themselves. Gaiosa, a rare chance for him. The young right back kept himself up at the field from a set piece. Drole driving down the wing, denied through, and Gaiosa tried a volley and tipped over by De Gea. Fiorentina's pressure did pay off though, and Goosen scored for them. Little turn inside Mondrago, laid it across to Dzeko, back across to Goosen's beautiful play, and Fiorentina 1-0 up, and some would say probably deserve it. Right in the stroke of half time though, Manello's men will be a little bit disappointed. For them, the Coppa Italia isn't the main thing, but it is an added bonus, and obviously the winners of this will face Torino in the semi-finals, or quarter-finals it could be. But either way, it's a prize draw against the rival team if they can get through. Manello had a lot to do at half-time, but Fiorentina looked like they're more likely to go on and beat this team. New players in there as well. Nico Williams from Brentford in the side, and again looking well for this money. So a little more across, beautiful ball played inside. Mondrago across to Goosens, laid it off, and there was a finish. Second half though, Juventus came back strong. Ball played out wide. Little run from Drule to Volpato, who then played the ball through to Pizarro, knocked the ball across, and somewhat fortuitous equaliser in off Buonanotto's inner thigh. What the new defender Williams, for apologies from Forest, not Brentford, was doing there, trying to clear against Buonanotte and not going out to the side. But Juventus will take that. My goodness, what a mistake this was from the Fiorentina centre-back. Little ball across. And what's he doing there? Volleyed it against him. Buonanotte will take all the goals he can. Juve then really piled on the pressure in the second half. Ball inside. Pizarro laid it across, and Nalini somehow got his shot off at the tight angle. And what a goal that was. Beautiful goal from Nalini. And Juventus were suddenly 2-1 up with the home leg still to come and looking good for their money. Whatever Manello said at half time seemed to have worked. Juventus seemed to falter. Juve seemed to build the pressure and take the win. What a goal that was. So a massive statement win for Juventus. They'll be buoyed of that, thinking if they go up next season, they'll have a chance to do this every week against Serie A opportunities. Second leg coming up. So Fiorentina looking to avenge that late win from Juve. Came into this team, this match with 3 or 4 changes, but it was Juventus who dominated from the start. Nalini making the run inside to Buonanotte, laid it across Moriero, good save from the Fiorentina goalkeeper, and that was pretty much the way of the game. Fiorentina trying to create stuff, but Juventus were just too strong for them, too quick for them, and at home Juve are a different animal. Little 1-2s into Moriero, and again Buonanotte making that run, and probably should have scored. A good save from the Fiorentina goalkeeper. The chances came thick and fast though. Nalini again out wide to Ceccarone, ball whipped across, and again look at the defensive situations Fiorentina, and Buonanotte took advantage of it to make Juventus' lead by 2. 3-1 on aggregate, 1-0 on the night, and Juventus deserved that. They had 7 shots in the opening 23 minutes, and Fiorentina just could not handle this Juve team. Yes, changes were made. Fiorentina have big games in Serie A coming up, but you'd have thought with a 2-1 behind they could still get back into this. But unfortunately Fiorentina just faltered and Juventus could smell blood. Buonanotte with the goal, beautiful slotted finish in the corner. Juve continued their charge in the first half, putting pressure from Juventus, making them go long. The centre forward had no chance against Juventus' back line. De Ricciardo into Moriero runners from deep. Utuba now this time with the chance, and another fine save from the Fiorentina goalkeeper. Juve were having fun today, just playing out from the back. Fiorentina had no answers for Juventus' football. Manello's men played absolutely wonderfully today. Nalini this time again breaking through the lines. Seeing the run of Buonanotte, who should have scored really, but again a beautiful save, and Moriero probably should have done better with the rebound. Into the second half, it continued the same. No matter what Fiorentina did, Juventus had an answer for it. Ceccaroni now, the left back, even getting into the opposition's half, playing the ball through, seeing Moriero, who had a chance, the big man, tried to curl it, but again, the Fiorentina keeper denied him. And if it wasn't for the Fiorentina goalkeeper, it probably would have been about 10-0 today. Cincini again, making the block. Beautiful interception. Moriero then switching a play, and Buonanotte was in this time, and again the Fiorentina goalkeeper denied him. What a save that was. And a blocked shot from Nalini afterwards. Fiorentina did create their only chance of the game. Gudmundsson out wide, whipped the ball across, shot saved in the end, and also the offside flag was brought up. A poor day for Fiorentina in their eyes. They couldn't do anything about it. Juventus 1, Fiorentina 0. Juventus will push on into the Coppa Italia, deep into the competition now. A 3-1 win here against Fiorentina, and more importantly, a convincing win. So Fiorentina will face Torino in the quarterfinals, Milan Lazio, Roma Napoli, Torino Juventus the tie of the round, and Sampdoria Inter Milan. The Turin derby will be next for Juventus. Juventus' trip to Benevento could have started well with Volpato coming close early doors. A tough away game this for Juventus, who were trying to keep promotion going to Serie A. Shot just dragged wide from the keeper's post, but early signs were good for Juventus. Moriero then tested the goalkeeper, the big Italian striker, trying to get to the top goal scorers chart, chasing down Benevento Sao, who played today also. It was a game of the main strikers in the league, but unfortunately it was also a day for the goalkeepers. Nalini then tried his luck with a beautiful volley as well, but Juventus could not break the deadlock just before half time. Some great build-up play. Ceccaroni cutting into the midfield, into Volpato, who then played the ball through, found Nalini. It bobbled up lovely for him on the volley, but again over the bar. Moriero again tried his luck in the second half. It seemed like Juventus would be more likely the team that takes the lead in this game, but again unfortunately the finishing wasn't great, and again Benevento's defenders could easily see it go wide. The closest anyone came in the game was Drole, who hit the post. Beautiful through ball from Volpato. The angle was tight and Drole hit the post. I guess this was deemed to be a 0-0 game, and so it was. Benevento 0, Juventus 0. Both teams with the top goal scorers in the league couldn't break the duck, and the game ended 0-0. So into transfer news, and Juventus have signed the up-and-coming wonder kid from Brazil, Lobato, the young 17-year-old that everybody's been after, has decided to join Juventus' project. Juventus, obviously, the rules in Serie B that they can't have no more than 5 non-Italian players, so Amone has gone out on loan to Pescara, which means there was a slot available for Lobato. Juventus are hoping to get promoted this season as the rules move up to 8 non-Italian players once in Serie A, which means Amone and Lobato plus 2 free places will be available for Juventus. But for the rest of the season, Lobato will join Juventus. Juventus are now down to 3 centre-halves, so they went looking out for another centre-back. But the fans will be eager to see this young man play games and hopefully a future star in Serie A. So a defender was brought in as well. Costanzo was on a free transfer. The Italian centre-back joins Maloney's men while Amone is out on loan. Again, it'd be a good experience for the Argentine centre-back, who wasn't getting every game time as Tuia and Cincy was playing both games. But again, Costanzo will be a 3rd/4th choice centre-back and joins Juventus for the final push towards the end of the season. The transfer window, obviously ban has now lifted from Juventus. They can sign players for money, but they still brought in 2 players from a free. Obviously the Brazilian coming from Palmeiras' youth academy had a release clause and could join a European club of his own choosing. So Juventus now push on. Juventus got back to fine scoring form against Vicenza away. Infantino opened the scoring with a fantastic team goal. Russo, again, the new Roberto Baggio is doubted, inside to Morero, round the corner of Infantino, and the beautiful finish in the corner. plans from Manello said he's going to stick with his 4-3-3 this season, but will look to possibly change into a 4-4-2 with Lobato and the new Roberto Baggio Russo as a top two. Not sure how Moreira will find that after being one of the top goal scorers, but at the moment the 4-3-3 remains and it's doing Juventus some good. Into the box, beautiful finish from Infantino. Infantino opened the scoring, as you say. Juve and Buonanotto soon doubled their lead. Buonanotto again playing some beautiful football. Wonder how he fit into the new 4-4-2 system that Manello may adopt next season. The winger's been in beautiful form all year round, and again doing amazing things for the club. 2-0 Juventus right before half time. Vicenza looking down the hole of a barrel of a nice absolute defeat from Juventus. Russo again still sporting the Baggio ponytail. Moreira still doing the hold up play, and Infantino, beautiful finish from Buonanotto in there. Vicenza though could have got back into the game. An opportunity fell for Ferrari, but Aresti pulled off a beautiful save. Ferrari and Cavone, little link-up play, and there it was, Ferrari in, but Aresti with a beautiful save down to his right and pounded just away from the Vicenza striker. Buonanotto should have increased Juve's lead, but he dragged his shot wide. Juventus again looked comfortable after Vicenza's chances, and playing great football again for Manello's men. And this side has come a long way since all three transfers, but Infantino should have scored. So we ended Vicenza 0, Juventus 2. They march on at the top of Serie B and hoping to continue this fine form going into the rest of the season. It's not often Juventus go behind in games, but Regina gave them a scare early doors, scoring after literally 3 minutes. Reguilón passing to the middle, and there was the goal. A new centre-back pairing of Rico and Costanzo today, as Cincini and Tuia were tired, and you could see the centre-backs didn't really have team cohesion in there. 3 minutes in, Regina took advantage of the two new centre-back pairings. Manello has to rotate his squad though this season, as the players will be getting tired towards the end, but Juventus paid the cost early doors. Both defenders and left-back nowhere to be seen, and Origi just absolutely sneaked through the middle, and the finish was beautiful. But Juventus made a sterner stuff, and Bizimana, the Zimbabwean midfielder, scored early on in the season, got his second of the season, and again the defensive midfielder is making a habit of getting forward and scoring. This guy scores rare goals, a bit like Kante or Makelele, but at the moment he's turning into a box-to-box midfielder that seems to be getting forward and getting the business done. So 20 minutes in, Bizimana equalised for Juventus, and the tide was turning in Juventus' favour. And so they have quality in midfield and attack, and you can always think this team will score goals. But like I said, considering they're all a bunch of free agents, 22 new players, what a team they've been. Moreira then gave Juve the lead. The big man hasn't scored in a couple of games and was keen to get back on the score sheet. Absolute horrific challenge there. The referee played on. Derico came back up. Bizimana now become a sister into Nalini, and Moreira, probably the simplest goal he'll score all season. The keeper did try, got hands to it, but you never trust a goalkeeper with tracky bottoms on. We learnt that early doors with Steve Vukucevic and Dimitri Karim. If you're unsure, kids, YouTube them names. You never trust, and Taib is probably the best one. Never trust goalkeepers with tracky bottoms on. So you're playing Sunday League football and your goalkeeper turns up with tracky bottoms on, tell him to go home and get changed because he's going to have a nightmare that day. And one you may remember from this era is Corrali at Crystal Palace. The guy who walked up with JD Sports grey joggers on. Yeah, never trust a goalkeeper with tracky bottoms on. Moreira then made it 3-1, and Juventus are looking comfortable now. Regina's first half through seems to be coming to an end, and Moreira, big strength from the big man, just keep putting the pressure on, and a mistake at the back. And again, never trust a goalkeeper with tracky bottoms on. Simple as. This guy's turned up with Diodora 90s on. Send him home. This guy turns up, you know what I mean, with his absolute Converse on. Send him home. This guy turns up with high-tech buttons, tracky bottoms. Send that brother home. Moreira though made it 3-1. Juventus looking comfortable in the second half. Again, Reggiani's defence, not sure what was going on here. The keeper and the defender, neither talking, and Moreira just decided to finish it off for them. But Regina did give Juventus a scare late on. Reguilón got his second of the game. He'd be proud of the fact that he's got a double against Juventus. A lot of these teams in Serie B will get the chance to play teams like Juventus after their relegation. Reguilón with a beautiful finish. And again, it's a way to getting their name across. Any players that play well against Juve, you never know, may get picked up and taken into Serie A with them. And he's letting everyone know who his name is. Lovely finish from the young striker. 7 minutes from the end, and it gave Juventus a little bit of thinking about and a little bit of a scare, but unfortunately Reggiana didn't have enough firepower to turn the tide, but Arrigini will be happy with his brace. So we ended Reggiana 2, Juventus 3. Juventus again getting 3 points at a tough away game, but they'll be happy with the scoreline in the end. Pisa turned up to Turin, trying to frustrate Juventus. Pizarro tested the Pisa defence early, but Pisa were all out defensive at the moment. Even when they did throw players forward, they quickly got into some kind of defensive situation. Juventus trying to fast counter attacks. Pizarro trying to find a little bit of room, shot from distance and dragged his shot wide. Another chance went begging for Pizarro, who couldn't get his shot off on time. Again, Pisa really doing well in defensive situations. Like I said, once they went forward to the halfway line, Juventus won it every single time. But defensively, they were really good. The rare few times Pizarro got through, he should have got his shot off earlier. Volpato, though, finally broke Pisa's resolve. It took nearly an hour for Juventus to do this. But this beautiful curling shot, an absolute stunner. Goal of the month contender. What a goal that was from Volpato. And Pisa's game plan was suddenly out of the window. It had gone so well for an hour, but no team can do this for a full 90 minutes. Can defend for this long. Even if you Sean Dyche ball in it, you can't do it all the time. And this is what happens. In the end, somebody will find a little bit of space and create something beautiful. What a goal from Volpato. Volpato almost made it 2. Again, Corrado trying to do a quick throw in. Juventus putting the pressure on straight away. And that was the problem with Pisa. You can defend all day long, but they had nothing going forward. And Volpato found the space, drove into it, and just narrowly dragged his shot wide. Pizarro hit his hat-trick of misses, not of goals today. Missed another chance, the young Chilean with no luck on his side today. Great play again from Infantino down the wing. Played the ball through to Pizarro. And you think he finally going to get his goal, but again the Pisa goalkeeper left himself big. So Juventus win the game only by a single goal. The game plan nearly worked for Pisa, but Juventus move on with all 3 points. Juventus' rise and march to the top came abruptly to an end at Frosinone. Started off so brightly with Urbitia, had a chance to score. The Colombian breaking the lines past Frosinone, who were a really tough team away from home, and they showed it today for Juventus. Could have been all different now if that had gone in. But Sibili then took advantage from slack Juve defending. Again, a little bit of a defensive situation like Pisa, but the difference is Frosinone have players that can finish, and Sibili is one of them. What a finish into the corner. Juventus found themselves 1-0 down after 26 minutes, and they were chasing the game after that. Beautiful goal from the Frosinone striker, and Juventus were in trouble. Frosinone trying to really push to get to the playoffs this year of Serie B. Obviously it's difficult with teams like Sampdoria and Juventus in the league, but they've got a good team, and they've got a good team ethic, and they could cause some problems still this season, and Manolo did find that out today. Sibili with a wonderful finish, opened his body up, curled it round the goalkeeper. Juventus' high line paid the price. Had a lot to do still from this position. Sensi and Tuia chasing him down, but he had enough strength to curl it in. It soon became 2-0, and Sibili was having a whale of a time of his day. Again, strong defending from Frosinone, and then quick counter-attacking from them really opened up Juventus, and the defenders didn't know where they were going. A little ball out to Bedau, who again played it through, and Sibili again time to finish, and another curling shot, this time with his left foot. Showed his ability with both feet, and Juventus were 2-0 down after 35 minutes, and looking down the barrel of the defeat for the first time in 10 games. Beautiful goal, and Juventus now had it all to do in the whole second half. The back line, Sensi could not believe his luck, but again it's just beautiful play, and somehow finally a team has worked out how to defeat this Juventus team, and especially when you've got someone who could finish with both feet. Juve's best chance of the second half fell to Morero, as a game of few chances really for the Turin Giants. Gaioza doing the work down the side, Buonanotto lifting it up, and Morero just hitting it against the bottom of the Frosinone defender. So Frosinone end Juventus' run and stop them from scoring. 2-0, Sibili with the goals after 27 and 36 minutes. So look at the league table. Juventus have a comfortable 7-point lead over Cremonese. Sampdoria lost their last 2 games, dropping down to 5th. Benevento now into 3rd as well. Vicenza moved up. Chievo still lonely at the bottom, 22 defeats. Sao leads the goal scoring charts by 2 over Buonanotto and 3 over Morero, but they are catching up with the man. And in the assist charts, Pizarro still lays in 3rd place, while Morero is in 10th. So tomorrow's big game is Juventus versus Chievo. Looking at the form sheet, this should be a home win guaranteed, but things are never the same in Turin, and Chievo need to find a win somewhere. 22 defeats on the bounce, but Juventus make it 23. Join us tomorrow for our live game. In the end, Arrivederci, brothers.